Hey guys, Troy here with Watershed Fly Shop in Corvallis, Oregon. The beautiful Corvallis. Today we are going to tie the pork stew. Pork stew is delicious and it's pretty at the same time. This is based off of Stu's Steely Piglet, so we thought we'd give him pay homage to him and call it pork stew. I hope that's not offensive, but if it is, sorry Stu, my bad buddy. Anyhow, material can be bought at watershedflyshop.com, and yeah, stay in touch. If you have any questions, let us know. We'll do our best to answer whatever you got. Thanks. All right, we're gonna start out with a blue hook keep, and just gonna make sure it's on there good. There we go. All right, Vivus 50D in white. I find a lot of times you don't really need a color to the thread. It's not super important. STS Trilobal and chartreuse. Quick little dubbing loop. Grab the handy dandy dubbing spinner. I'm gonna put maybe a little bit more dubbing than I normally would in this because I plan on using a tungsten raw weight for this, and I want the dubbing to kind of go around the tungsten raw weight. So I'm gonna pick that out, maybe spend a little more time on this little dubbing ball back here than I normally would, because I want it to just kind of go around the tungsten raw weight. And I'll show you that here after I get this thing tied. Little ball. Go ahead and capture that thread. Okay. Cut that. That thread can be a bit of a bear to cut. All right. So, I really like this fly. I don't know if I said that, but it's just a cool fly that's, yeah. I'm not one of those guys that's going to tell you that, you know, this works and it definitely works in this situation. This is just a rad fly, and I don't know. I've not used it a ton, but I have been fortunate enough to catch probably one of my biggest steelhead I've ever caught on this fly. I'm going to tie this in so that it's relatively big. Tied in by the tip, but down a ways. Just tie the tip down a little ways and cut that off. Okay. Just a few wraps of this. You don't have to get too crazy with it. One right after the other. And this is just hairline saddle in Kingfisher blue. Very cool color. There we go, that's good. Ooh. Okay, just tie right down onto the stem now. Again, something that's really nice about that thread is you can do that. Okay, so now I've got a tricky little feather for you. Well, it's a tippet. It's really what it is. That's got to be kind of creepy. This is a Lady Amherst. Poor guy. He doesn't look like he died a very nice death. Sorry, buddy. Anyways, these are the tippet feathers right here by his neck, okay? And I'm going to grab 2 of them, of which I already have, so I'm not going to grab any more, but that's what they end up looking like, okay? And they're kind of, I don't know, just in this fly, just like a funky horn. And I honestly was just looking for a use for those tippet feathers when I made up this fly. Again, I kind of copied it from a number of flies that were out there at the time, and yeah. I haven't tied this thing in a bit, but it's a cool fly nonetheless. The stems on those tippet feathers are burly, so what you do, you tie it down real good, and then you put a few wraps behind it, and that's how they'll kind of stick out. I'll go ahead and turn this so you can see. It would have been smart for me to do that beforehand, but that'll work. Move that around front. Okay, now I'm going to tie a few wraps behind it. 1, 2, 3, and there we are. It's actually pretty well balanced, which is a nice thing. Then I'm going to tie those down so they're not going anywhere. Cool. And this is where having a little thicker thread would be nice, because I want to make my body relatively the same. So I'm just going to quickly taper. Good time to fast forward. This is not the thickest thread. Okay, ultra wire, silver. Really the only reason I'm putting this ultra wire in is just to hold down the tinsel that I'm going to throw in there. The Mirage tinsel. It's kind of what makes this a brighter-ish fly. Just kind of tightening things up around my rear station there. I guess you'd call this thing an intruder. I don't know. I'm not much into naming flies. It's a knockoff fly. So there you go. It's called the knockoff. It's like 3 flies that I kind of looked at, and one of them was, I think it was Stu's Steely Piglet, but I don't like that. I think he uses boar something or something in it, and I didn't like that at all for a steelhead fly. But shoot, catches fish, can't argue with that. So Stu, I don't know who you are, but I'm sorry, I just didn't like your fly. So I made it something else. I usually wrap twice right away. Sometimes I have to wrap 3 times to really get a good wrap on this. It's funny, that's the biggest pain about this whole fly is that first wrap or two. You can also taper with this a little bit, and for me it's important that this particular fly is tapered because I don't have anything running down the body. I don't have saddle going down the body or anything, or guinea or any feather that I'm going to wrap down the body. Take your time with this stuff. It stretches a little bit, but when this Opal Mirage stretches, it actually takes some shine out. So if I see that I've put the wrapped a stretched piece, then I just wrap a whole nother wrap around that area. So I want it to shine. Boom. Okay. Wrap that down. Counter wrap it. Not picky about my counter wrapping. Just gonna make sure it's tight. That's all you gotta do. Make sure it's tight so it doesn't come unbuttoned on you. Helicopter. More wraps. Okay. Okay. Next step, another Kingfisher Blue saddle feather. Again, in by the tip, you don't need a lot of wraps of this. Move it, make my body a little shorter here. All right, turn that guy. Palmer it a little bit. In hindsight, I wish I would have got a couple of these Kingfisher Blue feathers that were just a hair longer, but you live, you learn. There are no mistakes in fly tying. Yes, I'm saying it. There are no mistakes in fly tying. They're just happy little accidents. If you can name the person who said that, not about fly tying, but about another subject, and I'm not going to give it away, I will send you this fly. So happy to do that for you, because that guy should be remembered. Classic. I will gladly send you this fly. Just comment down in the comment box. And maybe not with your address there. Maybe shoot us an email with your address. First person gets the fly. Okay. Golden pheasant from Hairline. Awesome, beautiful bird. Gonna tie it in by the tip. I use this feather a lot because I think it's super cool and it's not used a ton. Spey flies. Well, anyways, that I've seen with winter flies anyhow. Okay, can palmer it, kind of comb it back. That first wrap is the most important. There we go. Doesn't have to have a ton of wraps. The stem is pretty thick on this guy, so it's maybe a little more difficult to tie down than the average stem. Suck that in there with that 50D. Get the stem. Alright, mess with that a little bit, spread them out. They look kind of sparse and cool. You could be done with the fly right now, and it would look pretty rad, just like that. This is also a phenomenal summer pattern and sea run cutthroat pattern. But yes, you guessed it, we are rocking the JC. Okay. Jungle cock is a bear. I've never really done well tying it in all honesty. Just trimmed off the stem on that guy. So rather than you see me royally screw this up, I'm just gonna put it right in front of me. Hey, that worked out pretty good. That's uncommon for me. Okay, come on. It likes to turn and twist on you. It's just that kind of feather. You want something to be pretty, you're gonna have to work with it. So you can use the old roll technique, but it doesn't like to always work with jungle cock. So matter of fact, I'm gonna turn that because it's tough to tie them in on the opposite side. So you can't see them turning and rolling rather. Okay, sorry, I didn't really teach you how to do that very well. But I'll be honest with you, I don't know how to do it very well. I know there's a couple guys out there that are really good at it. Okay, tie that in. Good night. See, it's rolling on me on this side, so I'm not happy with it, so I'm going to tie it in at a little bit different angle. And you can smash the stem, and that helps. So I'm just smashing it on my table with this guy, and it does help. I kind of forgot to do it for this second piece. Okay. Move it around with your fingernail. There we go. It also helps to keep some of the fluff on the bottom side. It'll actually kind of right your feather a little bit. And that, in my experience, and sometimes they just go right on. You're going, I am the man. I am good. This time is not one of those times. Okay, I'm relatively happy with that. It's not perfect, but believe me, I'm not perfect. Okay. I'm going to hit this with some zap real quick. Just a dab so they don't want to move around on me. And it's good to keep the cone in place too, so. And you can whip finish right over your Zap-A-Gap right there. Call it a day. Put the cone on there. Yeah, there we go. Bend that out and that guy out. I'll go ahead and cut this with the back of my razor scissors. Burn it. Call it a day.